So f and g are inverse functions. And if we know that y equals 3x minus 1, and we have a tangent to graph at x equals 2, which of the following must be true? I have written down here, this is the relationship between an inverse function, derivatives, and the flipped version of it. It's a very kind of confusing formula. It's made easier knowing that f inverse of x equals g of x, and of course that means the same thing as g inverse of x equals f of x. And we can actually plug this into the formula. F inverse of x is just g of x, and the derivative of that is just going to be g prime of x equals 1 over f prime, the derivative of f, and then f inverse of x, that's just g of x. You can also rewrite this with the flipped version, right? G is the inverse, or I can write it as f prime of x equals 1 over, now we're going to use g prime of f of x. I'm just flipping the function names, flipping f and g. Now, from the information here, we have y equals 3x minus 1 is tangent to g at x equals 2. Well, first off, we can see here that the slope of this line is 3. That means that we know that g prime of 2, right, g at 2, the derivative at that point is going to be the slope of this tangent line. We know that it's tangent to the graph, which means it touches the graph there. So when x equals 2, you plug 2 into there, you get y equals 3 times 2 minus 1. That gives us 5. So when x equals 2, we get 5. So g of 2 equals 5. It has to be that case because, again, the line is tangent. In other words, it touches the graph g at that point. Well, if g of 2 equals 5, then that's the same thing as saying f of 5 equals 2. That's what inverse functions do. So we have these kind of 3 pieces of information that's going to be helpful, and we have these formulas here. So first off, we have f is decreasing at x equal to 2. And so what we're asking there is, if it's decreasing, we're asking, is f prime at 2 less than 0? And I don't believe there's any way we can find this out, because if we were to try and find that, right, this is what we're looking for here. We're looking for f prime of 2 equals 1 over g prime f at 2. And the issue is that we don't know what f of 2 is, right? We know what f of 5 is, but we have no information about f of 2. So I don't think there's any way of us figuring out if 1 is correct. Now, we do know what f prime of 5 is because we know what f of 5 is, right? If I change this to 5 instead, so I say f prime at 5, we get f at 5. Well, f at 5, right, is right here, and f of 5 is 2. So we get 1 over g prime at 2. And g prime at 2, we actually know that as well. That's just 3. So we get 1 over 3. F prime at 5 is 1 over 3. That's exactly 2. Finally, we have f prime at 2. F prime at 2, I already looked at that actually. We couldn't figure out anything about 2 there, right? We found f prime of 2 equals 1 over g prime at f of 2, but we know nothing about f of 2. So there's no way of knowing this information. So it has to be B.